Skateboarding, as everyone knows, it's a sport where you are traveling across a wooden board with wheels on it. Does not have straps, but is a very popular sport that became widely more popular closer to the late 70s until present. Skateboarding, however, I will say this. It is a very difficult sport to learn, and actually skateboarded for close to between 5 and 10-ish years of my life, believe it or not. This was outside of my musical career, which I was building throughout my mid-teens to late 20s. And a lot of people don't know this, but I actually do have a decent I have a decent bag of tricks that I can perform on a regular skateboard. And if you guys don't believe me, I'll be happy to upload various tricks that I have performed on a real skateboard without straps at an actual park on obstacles and ramps. Some of these tricks I know how to do is I can drop in on vert, I can do rock to fakie, I can 180 down a ledge, and I can nose grab down a ledge. And they're about decent sized obstacles, like ledges like several feet high, ramps like 6 to 9 feet high. So I'm not a complete noob at skateboarding. I'm definitely not good at it. I'm not saying that, but I'm like okay at it, and I can kind of hold my own at the park. Like I can do a couple things. That's kind of a general overview of skateboarding. As far as like who I would say is the best crowd for skateboarding is, I would say definitely like teenagers to mid-range adults, maybe even older adults if they really watch it and stay safe and don't try to perform anything crazy. That's the kind of age bracket I would recommend. And also people who just have a lot of time on their hands and don't have a lot of commitments outside the hobby. That's skateboarding. The next comparison I wanted to talk about is streetboarding. Now, streetboarding is something that 99% of people don't know about. With skateboarding, I would say about 50% of people in the world know about it. So basically, if you went on the streets and just interviewed people and asked them, if they know about skateboarding, what they know about skateboarding, 50% of people are going to know a couple things about skateboarding. Probably 1% of people are going to know about streetboarding. And with streetboarding, it is basically the same as skateboarding. However, your feet are strapped to the board. You may say, oh, you're just making excuses to justify your habit of strapping the skateboard. You're just basically just trying to cover up for that. I'm not. I was at one point going to make a video talking about why I strap my skateboard, but I actually did some research, and apparently it's a legitimate thing. Like, my skateboard is not quote unquote a legit street board. It's part of a mountain board that I attached to a skateboard. And I would also add this to the general subject of this video, is that I would categorize streetboarding, with mountain boarding, with snakeboarding, with those kinds of things, with the summer board for snowboarders, because it's basically the same thing anyways. But like I was saying, I'm making this video because it is an actual legitimate thing. You can look at it. It's on Google. It's on Wikipedia. There are sources on this. It's just a very niche underground sport. And like I said, it's the same as skateboarding. However, your feet are attached, and the sort of golden nugget of streetboarding that you will learn if you sort of transition between both sports here and there, because I like to alternate between different things. I like to try out scootering and skateboarding and mountain boarding, and now I'm trying to build a streetboarding concept. Is that certain things will be easier on others. So the golden nugget though that I was trying to talk about is that on the street board, there is no learning curve to get past once you figure out how to do airs and how to jump. You pretty much, if you're somebody who knows how to jump without anything on your feet, like without a skateboard, a bike, or a scooter, or anything like that, then you can do an ollie on a street board. And because of that, because of the learning curve difference, you could probably learn a new trick a day on the street board every day, and like after a year you probably know 300 tricks. With the skateboard it's different because the ollie can keep you back. It could take you a year just to learn that one trick. On the conventional skateboard, on a street board, because the ollie on there is just so easy, you could get at least like 10 to 20 tricks in the first week of learning street board. Like I've already like surpassed my skateboarding skills like in an extreme way. Like I can now do the 360, the 540. Yeah, I haven't filmed it, but I can do the 540 on a street board. I can do pretty much every grab: melon, nose grab, rocket air, double mini grab, indie, 180s obviously because I upload those a lot. It's crazy. I'm even thinking of trying a backflip or a front flip on a street board, and like also like obstacles I can air over banks and stuff, and air over transition, drop in with the axle. I do the axle stall drop in on the street board. And like doing tricks at high speeds as well. That's another thing that's a lot easier. And it's made me realize that, you know, at least with streetboarding compared to skateboarding, I feel like it has more potential to be popular. Skateboarding will always be a niche sport. It will never go truly mainstream. This is a very trending topic in the world of skateboarding, especially with that whole Braille situation. That was really bizarre. But the guy I mentioned, I forgot his name, he mentioned the fact that he was trying to popularize skateboarding at one point. That's why he built his brand, right? That's why he built the Braille brand, popularized skateboarding. Skateboarding has been around for long enough that it should have taken off by now. And I will say it's gotten more popular. I think it can become more popular, but I don't think it'll ever be truly mainstream. With something like streetboarding, I think it has the potential to be mainstream. It just doesn't have enough advertising. People just don't know enough about it. However, I say this, the fact that it can become mainstream is because it's a very simple hobby to have. Like I said, it doesn't have that large learning curve like skateboarding does. For skateboarding, my experiences with it have been as follows. Example 1, it took me a good year to learn a decent ollie. It took me another whole year to learn the 180 ollie. And then after that, after year 3, at that point, I had only gotten to the pop shove it. It was basically, with skateboarding I've learned is that it's, for the average person, now obviously if you're gifted, if you're talented and you're just meant to be a pro X Games skateboarder, then that's different. But like for the average person who just wants to have a hobby to enjoy, it's a terrible hobby in my opinion. I still love skateboarding, but it is just not a hobby that I enjoy as much as other things. Even like scootering. Scootering is more enjoyable for me. But like I feel like it can reach widespread appeal because the average person can do it. You don't have to have an insane level of fitness or, you know, body control to learn how to be good at it. You literally just have to know how to jump and be in decent physical shape. Like, it's great for people who have busy lives, who want just a little activity to do for maybe 5 to 10 minutes at the end of every day. It's not like with other sports, including skateboarding, where you really have to grind to get tricks and really have to go through some very punishing bails and falls. I have had so many bad injuries from skateboarding before I even became an adult, back when I was in high school and middle school, when I was just literally doing it for a hobby. And I realized that I had to quit because it was interfering with my professional life at the time of being a musician and doing gigs. It was becoming like a financial incentive for me to not skateboard, because I would have like a vacation or whatever, a weekend or whatever, you know, in my other free time. I go to the skate park, try to attempt some kind of vert obstacle, and I'd slam my wrist or my, you know, my knee. I do remember in particular, I broke my thumb skateboarding and I broke my ankle skateboarding, and it interfered with my musical stuff and I couldn't play gigs anymore. So with this kind of sport, it's different because, you know, if you do bail, you know, the likelihood is so much lower because you are committed to the trick every time. It's a lot harder to sort of bail, because it's like you're all in. It's either 100 or 0%. Back to skateboarding though, like I was saying, skateboarding, you know, is also a great sport, and, you know, it just depends on who you are and your goals. Skateboarding is more for younger people or just people with more time on their hands. Streetboarding is something that can pretty much, I would say, anybody, really, almost any age, old, young, you know, whatever, even slightly disabled. I think it's going to be, it could, I'm not going to say with 100% it's going to be, you know, the next big thing, but I think it has potential to become very popular and widespread.